So welcome back. This is the highlighter tag I'm doing, originally designed by Dustin Hunter. I don't even think that's how I should be saying his name, but I've been a subscriber for him for many years. So yeah, he and his friend decided to do a highlighter tag, and let's get real, we love our highlighter. There's so many good shades out there. So if you want to know what my favorite shades are, keep on watching. So the first question is favorite powder highlight, and I'm going straight legit powder, which is MAC Vanilla Pigment. So good. I am actually a highlighter fiend, let's put it bluntly. Let's call it what it is. I'm all about that glow. As much as I love blushes, I will always ditch the blush for a really, really strong highlight. So the sheen on this is just so good. It is very gold. I wouldn't use it too strong, but so good. Now again, I'm very fair, so it definitely, like, this gold strobiness is definitely there. So yeah, first thing. So the second question for this tag is, what is your favorite cream highlighter? And I've got two to show you. One is actually a true cream highlighter, which is What's Up by Benefit. This thing's the tiny one, but there's, by the way, there's so much product in here. I will never go through all that. But it's a very nudie sort of, I say nude as in like neutral gold. It's definitely too gold for me in full force, but if you blend it out, get the kind of more of a bronzy look for someone as fair as me. Again, this would look very, very beautiful on light to deeper skin tones. It's got a wonderful texture to it. It's so good. It's just that good. And my other pick is, of course, because I'm slightly obsessed with this formula as well, so it's ColourPop again. This is a cream to powder, but the texture of these are so buttery. They're moist and wet, and it feels like a cream, but it dries down to a powder. So I'm gonna add these two, which is Lunch Money. Again, this is like desaturated gold. Let's call it that. And that's really pretty. The other shade I have is Stole the Show? Yeah, Stole the Show, which is this white, but it's more like a gold white. So it looks white in the pan. It actually looks, I'm looking at it through the viewfinder, I think the gold's showing up, but it's definitely a white with gold shift, and that gold definitely comes through. So again, that's really, really beautiful. So texture-wise, these apply really nicely. This one is a little bit more shimmery in terms of texture, but they're still very refined shimmer, so I do really, really appreciate these from ColourPop. So good. So the next question is favorite liquid highlight, and my choice is still the same one I bought many years ago, and it's actually the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. It's technically a primer, but it's just this beautiful pure white, I was gonna say silver, but it's just a pure white iridescent sheen. I don't own it anymore because the one I had went bad, so I threw it out, but I decided to try another one, which is also from L'Oreal, which is the True Match Lumi, and this one is the shade Ice. I think it's just Ice, it says glaze, I think that's the French, but it's, again, this really frosty looking metallic until you buff it out, and it's just this really nice dewiness on the skin. It doesn't read too pink on me at all once I buff it out, so it's kind of cool because I was worried this would be too pink, but yeah, it looks pretty similar to the True Lumi, so either one, they're perfectly good. I love them both. So next question is the best overall formula. Now this was expensive, which is unfortunate, but it's just such an effortless dewy glow, and that is actually Hourglass's Ambient Lighting Powers, not necessarily the new strobing ones. They are pretty, I'm not gonna lie, but these are just so nice on the skin, and they give you a dewiness to the skin, if that's a word, anyways. But it just, like, look at that. I'm not sure this camera's picking it up. I'm looking at the viewfinder just to make sure it does, but it just gives you a glow that doesn't read frosty, and it's so pretty for that reason. Now the shade Incandescent Light is technically only in this palette, however the palette shade and the strobe powder are very similar, so especially with the newer ones. This one's very, very soft, but Mood Exposure, which I think is the very pale white, and Luminous, I think it was? I have to double check, but it's the one that's slightly yellow. Those two are very beautiful as well on the skin. I like them both. I'm just using these up first before I go and spend another $60 on those guys. So definitely my favorite formula. So the next question is best luxury highlighter, and yeah, hands down, this is what I finally got on the bandwagon for, and it's Becca. It's gotta be Becca. So I've got all these different shades, and now all these shades are, this was limited edition, but now all the shades are permanent, which is great because I got them in these tiny ones. Moonstone, if you're fair, it's just so good. It is so, like, I can't describe how much I love this thing. And this one's actually the least frosty or like shimmery looking out of all the ones I tried. I tried 4 of the different shades. So yeah, this is just so good on fair skin. But I gotta say, Pearl is really pretty. Like, I talk, and there's nothing really unique about Pearl. It's just you do get a lot of product for a lot of awesomeness that it is. Yeah, this shows up if you're the fairest of the fairest of the fairest, like paper white girls. So I do really love it. Jaclyn Hill's Champagne Pop, which I'm glad I've got in the smaller one because this still is just a little too strong. It's beautiful, but I usually find myself blending this with Moonstone or Pearl just to make it more wearable. They're just so pretty. This formula is great, and yeah, for high-end luxury, it's worth your money. Just again, they actually do put out smaller sample kits like this one, so yeah, give it a shot first before you buy the full-size ones. I originally bought Champagne Pop, Opal, and Moonstone, and Opal is just not working for me, but Moonstone, oh yes, this is so worth the money. So next question is best department store highlighter, and again, it's gonna be the one that started a whole strobing trend and the whole gelée formula, and it's actually Estee Lauder's Pure Color Gelée Powder. I think that's the full name of it. The shade I've got is Heat Wave, which is the lightest one they ever produced, and this is beautiful gold, and you know what? The shade was identical to Whisper of Guilt, so... And it's actually even smoother than Whisper of Guilt. It's just so pretty. It is yellow. I had to use this sparingly again because it can get a little, you know, bronze goddess kind of look to it, but I think it's the best formula that Estee Lauder's put out. So yeah, I just wish more companies would make them permanent for whatever reason they don't. Next up is the best drugstore highlighter. Now this is kind of hard because Drugstore doesn't really put out highlighters, like actual intentional highlighters. Like they're getting a little bit better, like they have like different face palettes that might have highlighters in it, but no one seems to want to produce one that's, I don't know why. Anyways, limited edition, yes, there's a lot of limited edition highlighters for some reason in Drugstore, but my favorite one that is actually permanent, you can get it now, is Wet n Wild's Observe Your Cabana. And this is supposed to be a bronzer, and it technically is a bronzer if you're very fair, but what I love about this is this very neutral, very silky, satiny glow. That doesn't sell you on I don't know what will, but it just gives you such a nice dewiness of the skin. And I love it as a highlighter as well, even on my skin tone, but it's definitely one I can use all over face where I would get naturally a little rosy, not rosy, but like a little more sun to my face, so it works as a bronzer for me. It would work amazingly as a highlighter on deeper skin tones than fair. So yeah, that is definitely my pick for the best highlighter drugstore you can buy right now. Now for favorite brand, I would still have to say Estee Lauder's Gelée formula, but it's not permanent, so I've got one more that I really do like, and it's not even a true highlighter, it's just so good though, and it's actually a Kat Von D's Thunderstruck eyeshadow. Oh my god. Dewy sheen that is like, can we even get there? Like, look at that. That is beautiful. It's this like gold to pink opalescent eyeshadow. And it's so smooth. It's supposed to be a metallic finish, which is probably the reason why it's so smooth. Again, you might not want to do this intensely on your skin, but yes, favorite. If Kat actually produced a highlighter line range that was using this formula, oh, it sells so well. Next question is favorite packaging, and it's actually a relatively new one for me because, you know, highlighter packaging is usually very, it doesn't have to be bland, but it's very subtle. For me, it's definitely the Everyday one because, like, look at that. That's so cool. It's got the best color identifier on the back. It's gonna probably maybe wrap it around, but again, you know what shade it is from the back of the packaging. The window is just really cool looking. I'm just amused by the actual packaging thought process they put into it. Again, it's that net meshing, and you can see the actual color through it. So there's no mirror, but that's okay. I don't mind. The shade is very good. It's a very, 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 very light champagne, which again works very well. It's slightly lighter, but not by much, than Becca's Moonstone, which I'm actually gonna swatch right next to each other. So that's Sin from Decay, and that's Moonstone. So Sin is slightly more golden, but it's in that same color family. It's gorgeous. They're both gorgeous. Shade-wise, or texture-wise, this one is a little bit more shimmery, but it's not a bad shimmer. It's just, you know you got some bling on, but it's not like, you know, you can count the particles on your face, which is never a good look in my opinion, just saying. So next question is most used highlighter, and again, it's not even highlighter at all because Pearl just came out by Becca, but this was my bae for like years, and it's Yabi's first snow eyeshadow, and it's so tiny! Seriously, I would have to load up the brush and just, like, you know, apply it, but yeah, it's just, this formula is amazing. It's a pearl paint. I'm just gonna put it right here. And it's just so good. It's so smooth, and it's actually one of the first, like, Gelée formula eyeshadows that came on the market even before Estee Lauder. So yeah, if you're looking for that formula, the pearl paints from Yabi are amazing. But yeah, this was like, you know, acts of desperation got me to start using this as a highlighter, because it's like, I need more strobing, I need something on my face. It was just too, it was too matte usually, so this is when I bust out. Again, I wouldn't use it as quite as thickly as that, but just a little bit of this product swept on the skin, just give me that instant brightening for my complexion, because it's very fair. So yeah, the shade is so good. It's so good. I keep saying that, but it's so good. It's so pigmented. Like, ugh. Favorite eyeshadow formula too, by the way. Yabi pearl paints. Oh, so good. Now on to my least used highlighter, and technically, I think this is supposed to be a bronzer anyways, but I still bought it because it makes a really great highlighter, and I've got it depotted here, and it's actually Arcani's Tiki. Again, I should really use this more, and I don't know why I'm not, but it's that very desaturated, slightly gold-toned bronzer slash highlighter. The texture of it's really smooth. Like, again, it's just so glowy. And I don't know why I'm just reaching for it, probably because I've just got it buried inside of a Z palette. But yeah, this is another one that's really good. If you have deeper skin tones than me, this will look like a highlighter on you, so that's definitely a pick. And it's just so smooth. It's very, very subtle. I'm not sure it's going to pick up on the camera. I'm looking at the viewfinder. Can't even see it in the viewfinder. It is subtle, but it is there. It just kind of blends into my skin tone, which might be a reason why I don't reach for it too often. Now, worst highlighter, I'm kind of drawing a blank, because for the most part I've been able to use most highlighters I've tried, which is a good thing, but I'm trying to think, okay, what can I answer? And usually it's the shade that doesn't look good on me. So MAC Superb Extra Dimension Skin Finish. So pretty. No go. No go. It's actually a very similar shade to Becca's Opal again, and Opal's just a touch lighter, so I could force myself to use it, but again, it's the same neutral rosy tone highlighter that just didn't end up looking good on me at all. It looked too fake, I guess is the best way to describe it, because it's just rosy and desaturated, and it wasn't quite a blush, it wasn't quite a highlighter for me, so it didn't quite work for me at all. So those are my two picks for the what is it, the worst highlighter? My worst highlighter? That sounds bad. I think all highlighters are wonderful. So next question is your best highlighter. Again, it's like picking children, so I'm gonna pick 4 because I use all of them. I would reach for all of them for different looks, but at the same time, these are my best choices. Again, Kat Von D. Oh my god. I just can't get how good this product is. Whether it was intended as an eyeshadow, but it's just like butter on your skin. So good. Next one is MAC's Light Escapade. I got the new packaging. I used up the original one that I had from years ago from like when they only launched as a limited edition one, so updated. This one is so soft, and I'm actually wearing that right now. I didn't want to get too glowy, but it just gives you a very subtle satin finish of a glow, and it just works. Nothing else quite matches the texture of it, so that's the reason why I really do still love this one. It's an oldie but a goodie. And again, Becca Moonstone. Yes, this is a new fave. Again, it just works. It's beautiful on me. It's so good. It's so good. I can't. It's just so good, man. And finally, this is the one I loved before I got this one, and I want to still mention it because it's still really a good, easy to get a hold of. You can buy the balm, or say at Ulta and other stores. I get mine at Rexall. So Mary Luminizer, it is a shade darker than Moonstone. It's just, oh my god. Yeah, this is, formula wise, these two are very similar, so good things overall. But yeah, Mary Luminizer, which I'm putting on right here, so it's a little more gold shift. It's still very illuminating on my skin, so it's a very, very good choice. So I decided to add a question, and it was your most unique highlighter. Again, highlighters are meant to highlight the face, but sometimes you want to play with different colors, and in my case, my favorite pick is, for most unusual, is actually Hippo from ColourPop. So the shade is this really pale mauve-y lavender. Yeah, it still has a little bit of a pinky tone, so it's not quite that blue base, but on the skin, oh, it's like fairy dust. Like the shade is so cool. It is definitely much more of a avant-garde slash photo shoot slash character makeup, whatever you want to use this for. It's not the most appropriate shade for one skin tone, but it's so pretty. And it does have this very lavender mauve shift to it. It is gorgeous, and the texture again is just like butter. It's like butter. So good. I'm also throwing in one more for most ununique, and it's actually Sugar Pills Lumi, which is technically sort of an eyeshadow, but honestly there's a lot of trend for blue highlighter kind of creeping out, and this one, oh god, this pigment is everything. It's just so concentrated, and it's this very, very white, but it ends up looking very, oh, sorry, I'm just looking at it through the jar here. Like, look at this. Oh, look at that shade. It's so intense, the whiteness, but once you blend it out, it actually reminds me of MAC's Reflects Teal glitter, except for the shimmer in it's very much more refined, so it's definitely got a blue, green, gold shift. So next question is the last 5 highlighters you bought, so I'm going to go chronologically from 5, which is the entire Becca line. I'm just including this because I bought them all at the same time, so yeah, these are really good. Next one I bought was this, yeah, it's this one. This is the Master Color highlighter. It comes with part of this face kit. It's a good highlighter. It's not the best, which is the reason why I didn't make it, but it definitely is a really nice drugstore one. Then it's kind of gonna be jumping back and forth because I bought all these around the time of the Sephora sale, or just before and during the Sephora sale. So the first one I picked up was this Anastasia cream contour kit. This middle one is a white, pure translucent white shimmer highlighter. So yeah, it's a cream. It's nice. I'm still kind of playing with it, so it doesn't quite make the cut, but it is a very nice product to work with. So that's number 3. Number 2 is the Sin from Urban Decay again, relatively new, so yeah, that's pretty, so pretty. I really appreciate Urban Decay finally putting out a highlighter that I love the formula of. I do love the formula of this sucker. And the last one I bought out is a cream highlighter because it came in a kit, and that is the number 20 Light Pro Sculpting Kit, so this is another cream highlighter here, sorry. That's actually a matte one, which technically I actually like matte highlighters, but that's a slightly different thing to do with it. Yeah, it's slightly off gold, very light, and it still works on my skin tone, so I'm very happy with that one. So that wraps up my highlighter tag picks, so if you liked any of the products I've mentioned, or have any recommendations, comment down below. I love to hear what you think about them. Also, I'll be listing out the full tag plus my selection in the description box. So again, this is one of 3 tags I'm doing and makeup related, so I'm going to have the links here in order, I hope, when I'm going to be posting them. And yeah, if you're interested in more makeup selections from me, go on and click on them. Otherwise, see you again soon. Bye!